Week 2 of the AI to $1 million challenge has come and gone. My name is Forrest Hodel. I am using AI to try to make $1 million and open source the world by releasing everything I do in an open source fashion so other people can learn from my challenges, my successes, and we can make the world better and we can be more productive individuals. This week, I haven't had a lot of time to implement new creative AI ideas into my life, but I have done one really cool thing, which you definitely have to stay tuned for. And the reason for my lack of ability to work with AI is my job as a Bitcoin educator takes, first priority, of course. I was able to go live once for a very short period of time, and I basically showed that I released the Video Clippy project. So that is completely finished, completely done, and released to the public. And here is some of the clips from the live stream. I released the Video Clippy project. So what this is this is an amalgamation of these two open source repos combined and given explicit instructions to use Whisper for transcribing the text out of the audio, and a few other instructions for simple commands. So essentially what you do here is you would copy this repository, you would go into your AI, open up an AI. I would use Cursor because the hobby plan includes a ton of free token usage. I've tried a few other coding AI platforms out there, and they just run out of ability incredibly quickly comparative to Cursor. So you would open this up, you would just tell Cursor, hey, can you pull the information out of this repo to create a program that can clip videos into smaller short form clips? And then what you do there is essentially you just talk to the AI. You tell it, I want videos that are, so by default, it's videos that are over 3 minutes. It'll clip videos that are over 3 minutes. So if you put in an hour-long podcast, it's going to, at minimum, pull clips that are 3 minutes or longer. You can also say, I want vertical videos, and it will cut vertical videos out of your podcast, out of your long form content, and then you could post that to other socials. So that's released to the public, and I've been using it and posting a video every second day to the channel here. The money's up from last week. Week 1, we made $5.96. Week 2, we made $7.75. So it's looking positive, guys. We are going up, and we are being consistent here with posting every other day a clip that was completely AI created, thumbnails that were AI, and titles and descriptions that were also AI created. There's still a little bit of manual work there, but maybe I can begin to automate that. But that would probably take an agent that has access to my YouTube. So we might be a little ways away from that. If you want to test some of the projects that I'm working on here, I need a lot of testers to be able to get approved on the Google Play Store for my app that I am working behind the scenes to create. I didn't do a lot of it this week because a lot of it is sort of boring logistic stuff that I can't really show anyway, but it's really just getting all of these fine-tune things set up. So if you click the link in my description, it will take you to this website here talking about everything that I'm doing with AI. And if you click this beta testers button right here, you'll get early access to the apps, and you'll be able to help me actually get them approved and published. Let's take a look at some of the things that we've actually done this week. We go to planning here. We can actually begin to click off a few things, which should be nice and satisfying. Ship clips manually or semi-auto to get paid. Yep. We haven't hit our $200 goal, but we're quickly approaching it at $13 or so. In and out points tighter clip boundaries, that works. Cross video stitching works. Hit 80% release ready. Yes, it's even higher than that. And group segments into cohesive clips. The only thing we haven't done here is tested a comedy podcast / live streams and clips and with this program. So we still have one step on there to do. We are 7 out of 8 tasks with an 88% completion rate. If we check here, let's go to developer accounts. We have created a Google Play console account, and we have completed this. Account ready to create first Play Store listing. That is all done. Meal planning app, define first release, no prep timing. Google Calendar sync, no. Linked household accounts, that works. Build core meal planning flow, yep. Pleb score, we haven't done anything on yet. Recreate guru claims, we haven't done any of that. Experiment log, we haven't done any of that. It is nice to check off a few things, but there's lots more to do. So behind the scenes, I've been watching a lot of content around how to optimize AI. I've watched how to use Cursor in a better way. I think I have been implementing a few things with the small amount of time that I've had this week. And I stumbled upon this video about Graphify, which is a way to make a map for your AI to better connect and look up information so that it isn't just relying on a context window that gets full and overloaded, and then the AI starts to hallucinate. It can actually go and check the graph for additional information. So here is some videos of me setting this up for another new fun project that I will add to the list here. I'm creating a new private repo for my documentary. This documentary has reiterated itself multiple times. Started off with the concept of the 40 years that led to Bitcoin, which is this image right here. If we take a look deeper at it, it shows all the things that led up to Bitcoin being possible, all the technology that Bitcoin built on top of to make it possible. And I thought this would be a really great idea for a series. So I started with episode 1 here, Vint Cerf and Bob Kahn, a protocol for packet network intercommunication, TCP/IP. Ended up interviewing Vint Cerf. I still think this is an excellent idea for a series, but I think the scope of it is pretty large for me to undertake. So I'm kind of thinking of making a special from this and calling it Protocol Dominance and exploring why Bitcoin will beat out any other crypto because of protocol dominance, and exploring that idea in relation to how TCP/IP won because it started to accumulate a dominance early, and with a network, it's incredibly important. I want to interview people about the stack of how Bitcoin is scaling through different layers. And I want to interview people about how there's other schools of thought and how there's other cryptos that forked off of Bitcoin with the idea to scale on layer 1, not have the same structure that TCP/IP basically created, and how the dominance of Bitcoin continues regardless of these other thoughts within that way of being. What I'm going to do here is create a repository, input that repository into Cursor, and then bring the transcript from that into here and begin to work with AI to create the concept a little bit more cleanly. All right, let's make this private and then create repo. Okay, that looks good. I'm working on a documentary that I want your help with. This is a documentary about Bitcoin protocol dominance. I've done an interview with Vint Cerf, who created or co-created TCP/IP, which the concept of this documentary is that Bitcoin is similar to that in the way that it is developing in layers. And even though there were competing communication networks for the internet, TCP/IP ultimately won out because of dominance of the network protocol. And I'm going to interview people from both sides. So people from the block size wars that can talk about how Bitcoin is scaling. They can talk about how Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. We'll use the Andreas Antonopoulos speech from that. And I want to talk to people from Bitcoin Cash and the forks of Bitcoin that have ultimately failed because they split off from the network and fired the network itself by doing a hard fork. I have the interview I did that I want to give you, and I'll give you the transcription, and then we'll begin working together from there. Okay, so I'm going to paste in this YouTube video. I'm also going to go to the YouTube video, go to edit video, and go to languages, edit subtitles, and pull in all the subtitles. There we go. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Okay, so there's this other thing I want to do here. Okay, so I'm going to grab this. This creates this this large graph here of interconnection, so the AI can better understand information instead of just pulling through all the context each time. I want to make this as efficient as possible as I begin to build this out. I don't want to move super, super quickly. I want to be able to have a clear picture so that I can move in strategic ways as I develop the concept for this documentary. We're going to use this software here. I'm copying and pasting in a repository for Graphify, I think it's called. And I want you to use the information in there to generate an interconnected map that we can build upon at every single thing that we add in context here in the window and chat. Any information I add in gets built and connected back and forth to this. So we can draw a massive map of connection. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Andreas. I'll just do that. We'll find that one. Why Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Yeah, this is it. This is a great presentation. We'll grab this and we'll go here. Use Whisper to transcribe this video and add the context so we can begin creating a narrative for the film. So here's our first look at the graph that it created. If we zoom in a bit, we can see these large nodes here that go out to other ones. www on TCP/IP Lightning on Bitcoin connects to protocol dominance thesis. There's these little edge cases that go out to other nodes. This one here, vendor lock-in, pre-TCP/IP. The block size wars is its own node. There's these little edge cases out here. Oh, these are really good. And I think if some of these are valuable, I could look in, okay, well, how does Satoshi Nakamoto start to tie in, and it can start to connect these. This is good for me. Now, I will say there's not a ton of information about the specific thing here. When I click this, it just connects to what else it connects to: Ethernet, router, Bitcoin, ARPANET, packet radio network. So I do want to get some additional context and more information when I click on one of these so that I can see and begin to understand with my own brain. But a lot of this is for the AI itself. So anytime I bring some information in, it can look and see exactly what it's connected to and not have to look through the entire context window of the chat, but it can just look and see what it's already connected and created all these connections and context for. So yeah, this is really cool. This is going to be a game changer in my opinion, but I do have to do some additional work to get this firing a little bit better. Add in more context to each node and pull information from the text that we have, or possibly other information from the internet, so that when I click it, there's a little definition of what it means. So this is a little bit experimental what I'm doing here, but I'm going to begin feeding it more and more information and building this graph out larger and larger. So right now we have this protocol dominance chart. If we look in here, we look at one of these nodes, we have some information about the specific ones that we've selected and all of the ones that's connected to it. If we click one, it will, this one's not telling us any information, but if we click one of these smaller ones, Bitcoin Cash, it gives us a Wikipedia definition, which will be pretty helpful. I found this really great YouTube video, Internetworking, exploring the rise and dominance of the internet protocol. It's an hour, 40 minutes long. So I'm going to use Whisper, which will transcribe this and add the context in here for the internet being a dominant protocol. I then need to find some information about Bitcoin being the dominant protocol, and I think we'll have a lot to work off of from that. Then we can start to begin to build a plan for the next steps of my documentary. So this is the plan that we've created on top of the Graphify graph as well. So here we have the acts, the estimated runtime based on that. We have the outline of each one of those acts, so we can actually go into each scene. And we can actually edit this as well. in this HTML website that we've created, which is pretty nice. We just have to save this. We can export it all as a markdown as well. We have some script here, Act 4 timeline, visual style guide, licensing checklists. This is so cool. This is actually like all of this I need to deeply go through. We have B-roll shot list for each one of these things, so we can generate B-roll, we can film B-roll, and we can get archive B-roll for a lot of this information. Motion graphics that we can create as well. Core thesis that underlines this entire idea of a documentary. Really, really useful. And then if we press this, the Graph Explorer, it brings us here, which is beginning to look a little bit confusing. I actually kind of wanted to, I might make it so that it separates these a little bit more so that we can actually begin to, think about these things a little bit better. But when we click into one, we can click another and it begins to find the connections. So we can look at the main thesis here, which is protocol dominance, and it goes out to each one of these. So we have the protocol dominance thesis. This leads to protocol layering, which brings us to Vint-Cerf, to AP, Lightning Network, and everything is connected. There are no edge cases anymore, which was another thing that I did, because there really aren't going to be anything that is disconnected entirely. We go to Bitcoin Cash here, Bitcoin Hard Fork. Part of this works for me as an individual to find out more information about each one and how it's connecting to other things that we have. We still need to add a lot more information in here. And this is also designed to work for the AI to be able to look up and be more creative with its connections between the different pieces that we're trying to link together to create this documentary. Now, there's going to be a lot with this project that I cannot do with AI, which would suffer if I used too much AI to make this film. But I think that a large part of the problem with production is bad pre-production. So this has been an attempt for me to create a pre-production workflow using AI that's going to optimize the actual production of this and make it more likely that this video is going to get created, that this documentary gets made, and that it's going to be better because of the thought that's been put into it and the work that's been put into it, partially because of AI. It really has been only 2 major sessions of using AI, and I've allowed Video Clippy to run in the background. I've created dozens and dozens of clips that will hit the background even more with these videos, with these live streams, and I'll be able to focus on dinner time, which is what I really want to focus on. The documentary, I've basically put a lot of the AI work into it. I might dabble with some AI video creation as the film gets made, but that'll be a while from now. And we'll start working on dinner time again. So thanks everybody for tuning in to this journey of using AI to get to $1 million and open source the world. If you guys want to participate, there's lots of ways to do so through the links in the description. You can check out my GitHub, you can sign up to be a tester, and you can donate to the channel if you want to. Oh yeah, last thing. Let's take a final look here at the total profits and losses of this challenge so far. 2 weeks in, are we profitable yet? There are expenses, but we might be profitable. Let's take a quick look. So we got another donation. We got our AI clips added. We have our expenses. We have our income. We have our chart here. We are still underwater. We have made $20.20. We have spent $41 on a mix of software, the Cursor platform that I have, and the Google Console developer account, which was 25 smackaroonies. So we're still underwater here, but you can see this trend is going upwards after this little dip here. We'll see how it does going forward, but things are looking better. Things are looking good. And ultimately, I believe this is a snowball effect, that there will be some pretty powerful things getting created as we spend more and more time working with these really amazing tools. So see you guys.